guys remember how Daniel Hakikachu said human rights is extremism? Yeah, you remember that?
Yeah, we're all human rights extremists, aren't we?
Yeah, we are all human rights extremists. Human rights is BS, nonsense, and Sharia is the best part. So anyway, yesterday, these your countrymen, Dawa guys, these Islamist guys, YouTubers, social media guys, these hijabs and Saburahmans and all these guys, they organize a rally in support of Uyghur Muslims. Good cause, yeah. Let's have a look. In front of China, they in Chinese embassy in London, they protested, and Mohammed Hijab gave apparently a very, very powerful speech. But if you look at it, it's just nothing but a performance, clout searching, theatrical performance. And I'm going to show something with you. I hope, well, they might try to send me a strike, but it's very important that we need to talk about this. Have a look at this guy. He even says that Mohammed Hijab has told them that be prepared. It's going to be a one hell of a performance. Have a look at this.
And when he comes on, he asks me, get the crowd ready. I don't know what he's got planned.
I don't know what he's got planned. Get the crowd ready. You know what? It's going to be one hell of a performance. So he didn't let us down. He gave us one hell of a performance. But now that's the funny part. His performance is funny. They call us cloud searching, attention seeking people. Yeah. But look at this. He is using, fair enough, I'm not denying all the people around, they're genuinely concerned, but have a look at all the people who are they're literally been fooled by this guy. And look at, have a look at this performance. Now, we share that, some of that was, okay. Let's have a look. Let's start this. Here we go.
We're on the edge of our seats here.
Before let me give you a disclaimer. Mohammed Hijab taught that this is not a human rights rally. Mohammed Hijab taught that this is WWE. Have a look at this.
My question is, what the hell are you looking at? Get your flag away.
So he's talking about some poor Chinese guy is looking out the window and he's like, "Hey, what's going on over there? Why are these so many, bearded men? What are they doing?" And Hijab is like, "Yeah, okay, but do you remember WWE? Do you remember back in the day they used to?
Can you smell what the Rock is?
He would come in the ring, he would grab the microphone, and he would pace up and down, and he'd be like, "You bring your ass right here in the ring, and I'll show you." Like the voice gets heavier. Look at this. This is what he does.
Yeah.
This is WWE, and not only to the extent of just his voice and his performance, but also his body as well. Have a look at this.
You've taken your flag away.
Oh.
The Chinese Communist flag. Well, I have a flag that you can replace your flag with. Let's just make a flag, you sons of bitches!
Look at the fanny pack! Look at the fanny pack. And he's like this. Stone Cold Steve Austin's like, "Get your ass down here! Give me hell yeah!"
Oh my god!
This is the performance, and look at the people.
Replace their flag with that, though.
Look at it! Look at this guy. He's like, and it was so planned. It was so planned that if you actually go back to the longer version of this video. And we can see Sabur Ahmed in the background as well. I'll show you that. He's laughing his ass off. He is laughing his ass off. And he's like, oh, look at this one. Let him play that with you. What is this going on? Look at these guys.
You have nothing to offer.
He's cursing them, which is okay, fair enough. Whatever, you're angry or not. But again, this is performative. This is performance. He's trying to be a hero here. And there is a downside, and there's a sad part at the end as well. There's a Uyghur Muslim who actually comes at the end. And he tries to cover him up. He says, "Okay, brother, that's too much." And then he starts crying, the poor guy, because we don't know what happened to him. And, where I want to show you Sabur Ahmed. He comes with a microphone like a cheerleader. Yeah, there he is. Hell, look at this. Hell, look at this at the end. He's smiling. Look at him. He's smiling, and then he's got a microphone, and then he goes Takbir. He's like a cheerleader. He's like, okay, he knows when to rile the crowd up. This is stage performance.
Yeah.
But the point is, all these guys, look at their faces around them. They're being fooled. They're being taken for a ride by these guys, and that's exactly what hijab meant. He's like, yes, this is going to be one hell of a performance. Get the crowd ready, and that's what they did at the start as well. Look at this. Yeah, this guy is the PhD candidate of philosophy of biology, and look at this. These guys are being taken for a ride.
Wait, I can't believe what I just saw. Honestly, I thought, okay, maybe it's going to be the speech is going to be like damning, or he's going to say some crazy stuff, but I was not expecting him to rip his shirt off and be standing there with a fanny pack.
He must be a rock fan. Have you seen the rock?
It did not come off the same.
He's like, he should have been pacing up and down, and he should have been like looking at this. Brilliant! He's looking at the Chinese diplomat up there. But the sad part is, look at this guy, and he actually calls them. He calls out China, and he appeals to the humanity of the Western countries, United States, United Kingdom, the very countries that he hates so much, the very human rights that they despise so much, and they were being cheerleaders for Hakikatu, and they were like, human rights is bullshit, it's extremism, and they are actually appealing to the Western countries, and he calls China being the prostitute of the West. He calls he says that you've given in because you have accepted the Marxist, which is a Western ideology, etc., etc. And then he appeals to.
But he's also accepted democracy,
Yeah, but the worst part is, look at him. He's trying to show off his gun, and he's trying to show off his boobs and everything. And on top of that, he's not doing anything about it. You know what's going to happen? He's riling up the crowd, and these guys are following a dead ideology. If you look at the expansion of Islam, the only expansion of Islam happened in the first 300 years of its inception. Afterwards, Christianity did much better. Christianity expanded to North America, South America, Australia, New Zealand, some parts of Africa as well, and as recently as only 300 years ago. So, but Islam is a dying ideology. And he challenges them. He's like, "You've picked a," and it was go check it out. It's a very funny performance. He's like,
I am gonna watch the full thing for sure. That's
practiced it. He practices he's like, so you thought. Well, he thought that there's cameras around, and he's giving the best part.
World a show, yeah. Well, he did of some kind.
he goes, so you thought that you can do this, and we'll stay quiet. We will not stay quiet.
My God. But yeah, you can see it's all crowd riling tactics built into his performance and his speech. He's literally screaming at the crowd, not even addressing them. It's like actual aggressive commentary.
But the whole point is he's taking them for a ride. But again, it doesn't take much to take this crowd for a ride. I mean, on one hand, these people are not the smartest people on earth.
They're such willing followers.
They believe in Muhammad spreading the moon. In they believe Muhammad's poop, as soon as it used to come out of his backside, it would disintegrate in the atmosphere. That's the crowd that we're dealing with. This is why, again, my point is my sympathies go out to the Uyghur community, but we are logically consistent. We say human rights are sacred. We promote human rights. We talk about human rights, but these guys don't. Why do they only remember human rights when it comes to their community? Why are they appealing to human rights? According to them, human rights shouldn't even exist.
Yeah.
They don't matter. Only Sharia matters. And here's the point. What is it that China doing that is actually un-Islamic? what is the punishment for apostasy? And according to all 4 schools of thought, you are, I think for 3 schools of thought, and the Shafi's, I think a little bit different, but majority of these ones, they say you have to give them 3 days to repent. You re-educate them. By re-education, they mean try to make them to come back to, force them to come back to Islam at the pain of death, at the threat of death. That's what they threaten you. So this is exactly what China is doing. The analogy of apostasy these guys give to us, they say, well, apostasy is akin to treason in the modern day context. And that's what China is saying, that, hey, you Uyghur Muslims, you are not, you are being seen as treacherous bastards because you are not swearing allegiance to the Communist Party. So we're going to take you, we're going to try to re-educate you. And the China might be slightly better than Sharia because they're not trying to re-educate you in 3 days. They're actually taking much longer. Again, we condemn that. They're following the Islamic principle. We'll try to re-educate you, and if you don't change or swear allegiance to the CCP, then we're going to kill you. And that's what they're doing. So that they're actually following Sharia. On the other hand, these guys are asking for human rights. And the worst part is Mohammed Hijab is actually kissing the ass of the United States and the United Kingdom, the very countries that he hates, and not going to China to fight the evil Communist Party, but using his British passport, the protection of the Great Britain, and then these guys are challenging China. So the downside for these guys is that they will never come to power. The future either belongs to China or the West, or maybe India as well. The West and India, they're all secular democracies. On one hand, we'll have human rights kind of civilization like the West, and then on the other hand, we're going to have a totalitarian, authoritarian society like China. But Muslims, Islam is so backward and outdated that it just doesn't have any place. And the other side is people like Mohammed Hijab, they rile people up. We're going to see someone, did you see those clowns, the clowns he was surrounded by? One of those guys are going to take it to the next level, and they're going to hurt some innocent Chinese who's got nothing to do with Uyghur Islam or with the CCP or something. And we're just going to see these one-off terrorist attacks, but they hold nothing. They're going to have nothing long term. If you look at the comments underneath, they're like, people are being riled up. They're like, oh, you know, that's the actual, you know, like in those movies that we see, Lord of the Rings or whatever, Braveheart or any war movie that you watch, and then before that, they give this speech to rile people up, to charge.
Yeah,
he's been.
Yeah, it's like a pre-war speech, you know, when you have to like rally the troops and really motivate them to like go attack the enemy.
Yeah,
that's what it is. But that is the style. I mean, that's what I've heard anecdotally as well from, like, you know, what happens here when they are trying to radicalize you. They speak to you in that manner. They like show you the same like most emotional videos with like heavy Quran chanting in the back. Like there's the whole, it's very like warlike strategy. It's a political Islam like manifesting its ugly head.
Yeah. Imagine Mohammed Hijab practicing that, as he said at the start, that, hey, get your crowd ready because I'm going to give you a performance of a lifetime. And he's like, and he's practicing his speech, and he's like, how do I intimidate them? Because I get turned on when my other Muslim bros admire my huge stature and my big burly body, and I'm a lion of Islam. And even his intro has this roar of a lion. So he goes, how do I take you to the next level, this WWE style? He goes, I should show them my body. Okay, how do I do this? I mean, I can't just go there and just take it off and ask a Chinese diplomat, hey, come have a fight with me. I can't do that. So what should I do? He's like, And then he went backwards. And then he goes, I'm going to say that you Chinese have given up your flag. He was referring to the new communist flag, which was inspired by the Marxist ideology, hammer and sickle. So he said, I'm going to say you've you've taken that away, your flag. You've gotten rid of your flag. So here is a flag. Use this one. So he planned all of that, and I imagine he's just doing that.
Can you imagine how many times in his room he ripped it off and chucked it, and he's like, no, I need to work on it a bit.
And Sabur Ahmed and Ali Dawah is like sitting there. He's like, yeah, I reckon you should do that, bro. So this was just. That was just performance, and again, the sad thing, as I said, is he's doing that at the back of a real human catastrophe that is taking place, genocide that's taking place. And at the end of the video, there's this little Uyghur guy comes in and he covers him and he puts a jacket on Mohammed Hijab, and then he hugs him and they have a little bro moment. And then you see him. He actually wipes off his own tears. This Uyghur man. So and we don't know what he might have gone through, his friends, his family. Some people might have gone to these camps, re-education camps, as China likes to call them, and would have never come back. Who knows these things? So, but yeah, Hijab was just, he is, I think, Hijab, you have a better chance of becoming a WWE wrestler. Maybe not, because, I don't know, you're 30 years old. I think he's 30-something years old, and he's got back problems, so I don't know. Have a look at this one. I just went to YouTube homepage and this video came up. Mohammed Hijab is really going for WWE audition. Have a look at his thumbnail. Enough! Got your ass down here in the ring. I'm gonna whoop your ass. Look at him. Look at him. He applied some filters as well. China CCP at war with Islam and Muslims.
Oh my days.
This guy is taking them for a ride. Even the thumbnail is like, maybe this is what it needs. Hulk Hogan's one where he rips off his shirt.
Yeah. If only you were on his side, you could have given him a much better thumbnail.
After your debate with Daniel, I am assured that Sharia laws are not better than Chinese laws. China at least doesn't have jizya. Yeah, good point. There might be some other parts in China as well, in CCP's policy, which are not as barbaric as Sharia. Sharia would always be more barbaric than any barbaric ideology that you can find today. Even though Sharia would be, if I had a choice to live under Kim Jong-un or Muhammad's Sharia, I would choose Kim Jong-un. Ideally, obviously,
that's saying something.
It'd be lesser of the two evils.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's how bad it is. Few Muslims that didn't know Mohammed Hijab. Damn it! Some saboteur planted a mail that said far more should be done given China's evil crimes. Sabur and others deserve credit, even if there is hypocrisy. Well, credit or what? I mean, it's always easy to scream out when you're in pain. I mean, you deserve credit when you scream out when someone else is in pain. That's what deserves credit. This is hypocrisy at best. And as I said, fair enough, okay, but we're also saying that these people come out when non-Muslims are charged with blasphemy in Pakistan, or apostates in Saudi Arabia and Iran when they're killed? Do these people come out then? Do they call out for human rights then? No. At that point, people like Muhammad Ali Dawah say we're proud of that. So these guys are hypocrites, and this is the reason why. And I'm telling you, these guys have absolutely no future, no matter what kind of theatrics or performances Mohammed Hijab pulls. The future doesn't belong to these guys. And
the only thing I would say is that just because the only good thing about it is probably that Sabur's followers can obviously, all of those Muslims who he has a following, and so that they'll start speaking out about it and give the attention, the incident more attention. But like from a humanitarian perspective, who cares what they believe? But just given who he is and the potential reach he has, I think that's the only way it could be good. But otherwise, it is sheer hypocrisy.
Yeah, and they're talking about genocide. There have been numerous genocides committed by Umar, early expansion of Islam, by Umar and Abu Bakr as well. So
Banu Qurayza, the entire tribe. Genocide.
Well, that was done by Muhammad. Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
much smaller scale, but anyway, but worse on far bigger scale. It happened in fact, there's a story in Tabri or Ibn Shaq that when Umar's generals conquered Persia, they said that what do we do? There's so many non-people of book, like the Persians were mostly Zoroastrians, and the status of people of book or minorities was only extended to either Jews or Christians. Everyone else was infidel, so they either had to convert or die. So they said, what do we do now, Umar? We're going to have to kill, I don't know, tens of millions of people. So Umar extended that status of minority to Zoroastrians. And then when they came to India, now these are classic pagans, right? Pagan is so clear. Pagans cannot be accepted as minorities. And even at that point, they upgraded they expanded the fishnet, and they said, okay, Hindus can be taken as a minority as well. So because Islam was so barbaric in its originality, in its original form, that they had to either kill all the Hindus or Zoroastrians, or and it's not out of good heart of Umar. It was because had they killed everyone, nothing would have been left in Persia. So that's the reason why he said, okay, all right, we'll upgrade your status.
How would they get jizya as well? You know, they need money coming in. Yeah,
exactly. To help me produce more videos like these, support me on Patreon or PayPal.